If you've ever dealt with kidney stones, you know the pain is no joke. It's like trying to pass a rock through your body. Yikes! But did you know that some of the foods you're eating could actually be the reason for those painful stones? Yep, that's right. Today we're diving into the worst 10 foods that can turn into kidney stones. Whether you've had them before or just want to avoid that nightmare altogether, this video is for you. From surprising snack choices to those everyday meals, some of these foods might shock you, and they're probably sitting in your kitchen right now. So stick around and find out which foods are wrecking your kidneys and what you can do to stay stone-free. Trust me, you're going to want to know which ones to cut from your diet before it's too late. Now, without any further ado, let's get to it. Number 1. Spinach. This may come off as a surprise to most since spinach is always on top on healthy foods lists. However, spinach is high in oxalic acid, which dissociates into oxalate ions in the body. These ions bind to calcium during its digestion. The combination of calcium and oxalate forms calcium oxalate. Since calcium oxalate is an insoluble compound, meaning it doesn't dissolve in water, it then precipitates in the tubules of the kidneys. Calcium oxalate stones are the most common type of kidney stones. When consumed in large quantities, spinach can significantly increase the oxalate levels in the urine, promoting the formation of these stones. 1 cup of cooked spinach contains approximately 755 milligrams of oxalates, which is one of the highest concentrations found in food. For these reasons, people prone to calcium oxalate stones should limit their intake of spinach. A study published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases evaluated the impact of dietary oxalate on urinary oxalate levels. The study involved dietary analysis and 24-hour urine collections from participants consuming high oxalate foods, including spinach. It was found that urinary oxalate excretion increased by 20 to 30% after spinach consumption, indicating a direct correlation between dietary oxalate intake and urinary oxalate levels. Number 2. Beets. Beets are similar to spinach in terms of how they form kidney stones. Don't let their vibrant red color fool you, as they are also high in oxalic acid. The oxalate from beets binds with calcium in the urine, forming calcium oxalate crystals. A single serving of beets, which is about 100 grams, contains around 152 milligrams of oxalates. Beets are often consumed in salads or as a juice, which can be problematic for those with a history of kidney stones. A 2015 study published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology investigated and proved all that we mentioned. The study found that urinary oxalate levels increased by 15 to 25% in individuals consuming beets, reinforcing the role of dietary oxalates in kidney stone formation. Number 3. Chocolate. We have unfortunate news for all the chocolate lovers out there. Chocolate, particularly dark chocolate, contains a significant amount of both oxalates and substances like theobromine, which can affect calcium metabolism. The oxalates in chocolate contribute directly to calcium oxalate stone formation. In addition to that, the presence of theobromine can increase urinary calcium excretion. The higher concentration of calcium in the urine can then combine with oxalate or phosphate to form crystals, which may aggregate into kidney stones. A 1-ounce serving of dark chocolate contains about 70 milligrams of oxalates. A study found that urinary oxalate levels increased by 10 to 15% after consuming dark chocolate, suggesting that regular chocolate consumption could increase the risk of stone formation in susceptible individuals. Those with a history of kidney stones should limit chocolate intake. Number 4. Black and green teas. Both black and green tea contain oxalates, though black tea has a higher concentration. Regular consumption can lead to increased oxalate levels in the urine. An 8-ounce cup of black tea contains about 14 milligrams of oxalates, while green tea has slightly less. Additionally, tea contains compounds like caffeine, which can act as a diuretic. This can reduce urine volume, increasing the concentration of stone-forming substances and enhancing the risk of stone formation. In the Journal of Urology in 2013, a study measured the oxalate content in both black and green tea and monitored urinary oxalate levels in habitual tea drinkers. The results reported that black tea led to a 20 to 30% increase in urinary oxalate levels, while green tea led to a 10 to 20% increase. This supports the notion that tea, particularly black tea, can contribute to kidney stone formation. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 5. Cola drinks. Cola drinks are high in phosphoric acid, which can lead to an increase in urinary calcium excretion. High phosphate levels can also reduce citrate levels, which are necessary for preventing calcium stones. In addition to that, cola drinks can lead to dehydration, further concentrating the urine. Regular consumption of cola drinks is associated with a higher risk of kidney stones, particularly calcium phosphate stones. Reducing or eliminating cola from the diet can help reduce the risk. In a study that examined the association between cola consumption and the risk of kidney stone formation, researchers found that regular cola consumption was associated with a 23% increased risk of developing kidney stones. Number 6. Soy products. Soy products, including tofu and soy milk, are rich in oxalates. A serving of soy products can contain up to 100 milligrams of oxalates. Soy is also high in purines, which break down into uric acid, which is another substance that can lead to kidney stones. Not to mention, soy products contain isoflavones that can affect calcium metabolism, possibly leading to higher urinary calcium levels. This can increase the risk of calcium-based stones, especially when coupled with the high oxalate content of soy products. According to studies, by consuming soy products, urinary oxalate levels can increase by 15 to 25%. Number 7. Processed foods. Many processed foods, such as canned soups, frozen meals, and fast food, contain excessive amounts of sodium. Processed foods that are often high in sodium increase calcium levels in the urine. High urinary calcium can combine with oxalate or phosphate to form kidney stones. Adding to that, diets high in sodium can also lead to dehydration, further concentrating the urine and enhancing stone formation. In fact, a study published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases examined the link between dietary sodium and calcium excretion. The study found that high sodium intake led to a 30 to 40% increase in urinary calcium excretion, thereby increasing the risk of calcium oxalate stone formation. Number 8. Red meat. Red meat is high in animal protein, which increases the excretion of calcium and decreases the excretion of citrate in the urine. Citrate helps prevent stones by binding calcium, so lower citrate levels increase stone risk. Additionally, red meat is also high in purines, which can elevate uric acid levels and lead to uric acid stones. Frequent consumption of red meat increases the risk of both calcium and uric acid stones. In the New England Journal of Medicine, a study was published that aimed to investigate the relationship between animal protein intake and kidney stone formation. The study analyzed dietary habits and urinary excretion of calcium, uric acid, and citrate in participants consuming high levels of red meat. According to the results, it was observed that high animal protein intake resulted in a 20 to 50% increase in urinary calcium and uric acid levels, along with a decrease in urinary citrate, which collectively increased the risk of kidney stone formation. Number 9. Rhubarb. Rhubarb is known for its red-tinted stalks and characteristic sour taste. But one thing most people don't know about it is that it contains high levels of oxalates. Consuming rhubarb can increase the amount of oxalate in the urine, enhancing the likelihood of kidney stone formation. Rhubarb contains about 860 milligrams of oxalates per cup, which is extremely high. In a study, participants were given rhubarb as part of their diet. and urine samples were analyzed for oxalate and calcium levels. The study reported a 25 to 35% increase in urinary oxalate excretion after rhubarb consumption. Number 10. Nuts and seeds. Many nuts and seeds, particularly almonds and cashews, are high in oxalates. Regular consumption can raise urinary oxalate levels, leading to an increased risk of stone formation. Almonds contain around 122 milligrams of oxalates per ounce, and cashews contain about 49 milligrams per ounce. While nuts and seeds are healthy, their oxalate content makes them a risk factor for kidney stones. However, unlike the previously mentioned foods, the absorption of oxalates in nuts can vary depending on individual gut flora, as certain bacteria like Oxalobacter formigens degrade oxalate. However, in individuals with low populations of these bacteria, oxalate is absorbed into the bloodstream, then filtered by the kidneys and excreted in the urine. The formation of kidney stones occurs when there is a high concentration of oxalate in the urine, leading to the crystallization of calcium oxalate, as indicated by studies and experiments. Nut consumption can lead to a 10 to 20% increase in urinary oxalate levels. So these were the worst 10 foods that cause kidney stones. Now, we want to hear from you. Which of these foods surprised you the most? Have you cut them out of your diet yet? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.